And then, are we recording? How do I know if we're recording or not? Oh, we're recording. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the midterm, guys. If you're at home, we miss y'all. Just come back soon. Here's the midterm in advance. So the colors that are used in ink, if you're going to actually print a tangible copy of something, are cyan, C-Y-A-N, magenta, yellow, and technically the K stands for key, but it's for all practical purposes is black. It's the color black. And the reason I think that they use K instead of B is because in RGB, it's red, green, and blue. They don't want B to stand for both blue and black. Does that make sense? So, so was that BK? Well, they make it stand for the word key, and I don't know. I don't know why, but they just do. And so here's the thing: these are called subtractive colors. And these are called additive colors, and you can change it easily up here. So if you know it's going to be for the web, go to image mode, RGB for the web, red, green, blue. If you know it's going to be for print, go to image mode, CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and key or black. And okay, subtractive colors are like, let me stop sharing the screen so people see. Okay, technically this shirt, I guess, sort of is green. Technically it's also sort of everything but green because light hits it. It absorbs every color except green. Green reflects, right? That's called subtractive color. It's subtracting the color green, right? But in a screen, so like the screen is made of little bitty red, green, and blue bulbs. That's called additive color because it's like there's no color and you turn the lights on, bloop. Yes, there is. It is creating color, kind of. It's adding color to the world. And so anyway, red, green, blue bulbs add color to the world. CMYK, when you mix those colors in like that large printer right there, like the colors of ink that they used to mix up are cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. That's subtractive colors, the kinds that reflect because it's not creating color. Okay. So anyway, long story short, this, let me see, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, that's for print. Red, green, blue, that's for web. And then, okay, here's the thing. After midterm, I don't explain these anymore. I'll just let people find them because it's just so much more efficient. So like, the first tool is called the move tool. If you hover over it, it'll literally tell you move tool. So like for the first 9 weeks, I can say, okay, go to the move tool. The move, it looks like a compass. It's on the top right of the toolbox on the left-hand side of the screen. I can do all that for 9 weeks. After the 9 weeks, it's like, you should probably know. And so I'll just say, go to the move tool. And if you don't know where it is, you just kind of have to find it while I go help other people. So like, it's not, it's time to learn it now. So if you're on the move tool, it just moves things. That's why it's called the move tool, right? But it looks like a compass. It's on the top left. All that's true. But when I say go to the move tool, just be sure you know what it is for the last 9 weeks. Okay. And then this is called the lasso. It selects things. It makes marching ants that, you can do things inside. This is called the magic wand tool. And, it used to look more like a magic wand to me. Like this is the old version of it. Now it kind of looks like a cigarette to me, but regardless, that's what will select any one particular solid color for you. It's a magic cigarette. It is, I guess. That's a band name for you right there. So the patch tool. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what it does. Y'all see it looks like a patch right there? You can click on the patch tool and pretend like this is someone's face and that X is a pimple. You can select around like a perfect flawless area and drag this over the pimple and it goes away. And this is a solid color, but just trust me, if it had pores, it would show pores. It would still be just as textured as it was before. So patch tool. One time my mom wanted a picture of my feet and my daughter's feet and my wife's bare feet because she'd seen somebody else do that and it was a little weird, but she asked for it and we gave it to her. So I had like a little rash or something on my feet. It was very small. But instead of like deleting that, I took the rash and I duplicated that over and over again. So it looked like me and my wife both had leprosy. And so you can, and eventually like we gave her both, but see how like you could take this and you could like spread it like wildfire kind of thing. Or you could cover over it. It could go either way. But long story short, the patch tool can perfect little flaws or stains or things like that. And then the brush tool, you know, it looks like a paintbrush. If you say paintbrush, I'll probably count it correct. Depending on the version of Photoshop you have, some old versions may call it the paintbrush tool. Now it's just called the brush tool. At the end of the day, you can either freestyle it by clicking and dragging, or you can click, hold shift, and click again, and it'll do perfectly straight lines for you. And of course, it's editable. You can make it any color you want. You can make it any size you want. You can make it where either it's blurry or it isn't blurry. That's all, you know, up to you. And then the eraser tool, same thing. If you're wanting to erase something, we typically want it on 0% hardness. 100% hardness means it is a hard edge, right? 0% hardness means it's a blurry edge, and so it'll blend in. And that's how you can, like, you know, blend things into another. And then this one, okay, I think they call it the paint bucket tool now. It used to be called the fill tool, because when you click on it and you paint something in, it would fill it with color. But I think they've changed it back now to the paint bucket tool. And yep, it's the paint bucket tool. Again, if you don't remember which version does it call it on the current version that we use now, just hover over and say, not the fill tool anymore. It is the paint bucket tool. So there's that. And then, okay, the pen tool is a magical thing. I don't think I've shown this class how to use this yet. But like, okay, if you're on the pen tool and you click and hold it and drag it, it's like an aerial view of a bike, what do you call it, handlebar. And I can click and hold it over here, click and hold it over here. This is called a path, and the pen tool just made it. A path is what you wish for, but you don't have it yet. So like, if you tell Santa Claus you want a pony, and Santa Claus has not given you a pony yet, you do not have a pony. You just have a wish for a pony, right? That's what this is. You do not have a real line right now. You just wish for a line. So the thing is, if you were to print this out, it looks like that. Or if you turn it into me, it looks like that. This, all it is something for your eyes only. Like, I wish I had a line there. And once you have a line there, if you want to, let me move this into the layers panel right here. Once you have a line there, you can go and say, okay, I want to fill it in. And now I have an actual line. I got my pony. There it is. That's a real thing now. If you turn it in, I can see it. If you print it, you can see it. Until you tell it what to do, it's just a wish. Does that sort of kind of make sense? So I can make it blue. I can make it larger. I can make it hard-edged. And then I can say, hey, give me that pony. Boom. Now I got a big blue pony. But until you do that, you just wish for something. Another thing you can do with them, so you can click on the type tool. I can just click on here and just type out. And it'll be any color, any type I want. And so you could make it so that, you know, a lot of information's coming out of one spot. Like you could make it where, I don't know, somebody's playing a trumpet. And out of the trumpet just come bukus of letters. But until you type in those, oh boy, oh dear. Let me click on this again. Until you click on, I'm going to do the center. Until you click on those letters, piece of junk. Let me just hide this layer. Just trust me, it's a cool thing. Once this, my computer's going kind of lag right now. Let's hide this and go back to paths. And now I can click on it. Bloop, right there. Anyway, at the end of the day, you can outline it or you can type on it. You could fill it in with a particular color. It's just like, hey, you wish for something and then you kind of make it happen. If that doesn't make sense, just get my attention at your own spot. I'll show you. Okay, and then this is called the zoom tool. So like for the second 9 weeks, if I say go to the zoom tool, you just kind of need to know what it is. This semester, this 9 weeks, we still have a few days left. I can say go to your zoom tool. Go to, it looks like a magnifying glass. It's in the bottom left hand of the toolbox, which is at the left hand side of your canvas. That's not efficient. That's not a well-oiled way to run the business, you know. So just hover over it, zoom tool. And of course you click and drag right, it zooms in, click and drag left, it zooms out. Okay, and then the marching ants, that's called a selection. To deal with a selection, you go to select. So select inverse, we'll get outside of that. See there's marching ants on the outside. Select, deselect, we'll make it go away. It's called a selection if there's marching ants. If you make something with a one of these little shape tools right here, and just take your pick. It's called a path again. So see how it's that light blue thing? It's not real. If you printed it out, it's not going to show up. If you turn it in, it's not going to show up. It's just for your eyes only. It's like, this is what I wish I had. Again, to deal with a path, you go two paths. You can say fill it in, the first one, or you can say outline it, or you can say change it into a selection, or you can type on it. There's a lot of things you can do with that wish, but you have to tell it what to do. Otherwise, it just stays a wish, right? So that's what a path is. So the little line made with a pen tool or the shape tool that's blue, it's imaginary. It's not real till you make it real, and it's called a path. To deal with a path, you go to paths. Fill it in, outline it, make a selection, type on it. That's the 4 main options that you have. Okay, and then, Mr. Cox, I've lost my layers box and my tools box. I can't do any work today. I guess I'll just sit here. Nothing I can do. Well, turns out you can. If you're missing something, just look out the window. They're like little boys. They like to play outside. Look out the window. Window. I'm going down to layers. There they are. Window. Going down to tools. There they are. Most are alphabetized. Tools, they put a little lower. I don't know. I guess just to make it super, super quick and easy to find. But if you're missing something, look out the window. And then the standard size paper. Let me stop sharing the screen for just a second so that people can see this. The standard size paper, like this right here, we just framed this one up, is 8.5 wide by 11 tall. 8.5 by 11. Or yeah, you can flip it that way. 8.5 by 11. And then the resolution that we always use is 300 because anything larger, oh dear, I didn't mean to stop that. Well, I'll just tell y'all, is 300. Anything larger than that typically is just unnecessarily large. Like, you can't tell the difference by looking. It'll just bog down your computer. Sometimes somebody's computer is running real slow, and I'll be like, let's see why it's running slow. And there's a reason, like maybe they're working on something that's 1,000 inches wide. There's no need in that unless you're working on like a billboard or something, you know. Same thing with the resolution. You just don't need to work on something more than 300 typically, unless there's a good reason to. And then you don't use it less than that either, unless there's a good reason, because it'll be noticeably pixelated. You're like, this looks like a bad quality internet picture if you use too low of a resolution. Reach 300. Phew! So that's that. So anyway, big news. Please bring a can if you remember. Turning stuff out Friday, even though it's a short week. I won't see y'all tomorrow or the next day. We are working with Tuskegee again. Anything that you can make for them, we'll send it to them. And I just need to get it on a flash drive. You can go to goldentigersports.com and see their schedules for every sport. You can get some pictures from there, some pictures from Google. Some, if you can't get a good picture, what Anne does sometimes, she just gets a picture of a football player and she'll convert them into an Auburn High player, right? So, like, if you want a picture of any football player, make them a silhouette. They can play for anybody, just make a silhouette. Okay, I think that's it. Sorry, it was kind of long-winded today. What's that? Do what? Gotcha, yeah. So there's different ways to do it. One is, like, and do you find particularly close to Auburn High people to start with, like Kentucky University, or do you just find a generic picture of a football player? So, like, if you just find a picture of a player, and you can't tell who they play for, we can change the color of their numbers, or we can change their helmet to be white, or whatever. We can just change the colors of it. If you make a silhouette of it, you can't tell. Jordan Duncan on his shoes, that's a silhouette. You can do that on a football player. You can't tell who they play for. You can make it blue. They play for Auburn now. Make it red. They play for Tuskegee now. So it was your hand up, JD, sir. I've done so many things with football. What did it look like? Oh yeah, I know what you're about. BHANCE. BHANCE. HANCE. I'm going to be right there. .net. BHANCE.net. HANCE.net. We're going to show these off somewhere, man. Hey, I'm going to get you. So yesterday I just BHANCE.net. Mercy. Let's see here. Yes, PEHAN. HANCE. .net. That's it. And then you just type in football or sports and search for it. So I called him yesterday to athletics department, and the lady that responded, she was quite positive, and then she just put me in contact with her head athletic director. The guy we used to be in contact with was the assistant athletic director, so he had maybe a little more time to like go back and forth with us. And so if their head athletic director is too busy, then I'm going to call him back and get a just somebody who runs their social media or website might have more free time. Busy guy. Anyway, yes.
Okay, so I know this is very simple, but I worked that and made it go down.
Right.
So I know how to do it and like transform it work, but it won't do that.
So here's the thing. There's two ways. One is you can double click it, and there's this see on a heel, and it has this all set of different things. That's one potential thing, and there's different options within that. The other way, the other thing is it's kind of like Samsung 4 guys here. Like you can't beat him up when he has the long hair. If you go to layer, rasterize, it's any old regular layer now, and now you can do it.
Okay.
It's not impervious. It's more like what.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, what is happening over here?
I'm just trying.
That's right. Let me fix that. I can't keep up. There's so many people and so many things. Sam, thank you for reminding me of that. So that one actually got used, and they plan to use it online as well. I think they wanted a couple modifications or something like that. So, but one of the people who runs social media, she emailed me and she came up to talk face to face because she wanted to use it if we just like tweak it a little bit or something. Let's see here.